Hello, my name is Chuck. I've worked in customer service for the past 15 years. I've spent the past year or two in quality assurance. And I want to go through and touch briefly what I personally look for whenever I call into a call center. I like to be able to save myself time and energy and money. And the first 30 seconds to a minute of a call will let you know what kind of representative you talk to. The first thing that the three things real quick is ownership or pairing within the call. The second is if they can even remember whether the issue that I personally have, if they can tell me back to it, or better yet, summarize it in a quick and easy way. And the third is if they use whether or not they use what they can do, or just go through and just flat out tell me I can't. So let's talk about each of those. First and foremost, whenever I call in, I go through and like to hear people go through and pair up with me. The most dreaded terms is the word me, you, me, you, me, you, because it's a back and forth. If you can go through and talk to them about and pair up with them, suddenly instead of it's me against you or you talking to me, I like to view it as I'm working with someone to accomplish a particular priority. For example, you call in, you suddenly hear, well, let's go through and work on this together. You're convinced that the representative is working with you on this. This is the best situation and scenario to have because you're working with someone in order to fix a problem instead of having someone work against you or going through and having it so that you have someone just telling you it's on the account. The second is whenever you call in and the person can tell you within the first 30 seconds after you've stated your problem what your problem is and kind of summarizes it, because it means they're actually listening. They understand what's going on versus you sitting there hearing, well, I can help you with that. It shows that you've got some commitment to it, but do you really understand it? If they can go through and summarize it in the first few sentences, it helps out by leaps and bounds just because you know that they actually understand and can repeat back to you what your issue is. It means you're a priority. The third is I like someone who talks about what they can do instead of what they can't do. So, for example, let's say that you have $50 worth of interest on your credit card. You can only get one waiver of $20 per year. Telling me, well, I can't waive that interest for you is kind of a letdown. However, I can go through and waive up to $20 worth of interest for you this one time, or if you want to, we can go through and save this for you for some time next year. By giving me options, I choose my own fate, and I now have two options in which I can go through and do. Whichever decision I make, I'll be happier with just because of the fact that I made the decision instead of sitting there and being told, well, you have to do this, or I'll just waive $20 and that's the end of it. Anytime you can get reps that will sit there and talk to you about what they can do instead of what they can't is amazing. So just to go through and recap, ownership on a call and whether or not they pair with you. Number two, just the fact of being able to hear that you're understood within the first 30, 60 seconds of a call, and a representative that goes through and greets. These are things I look for in the very first 30 seconds to 60 seconds of a problem, just because it gives me an idea if I'm going to need to escalate to a supervisor or whether or not I'm going to get a rep that I feel that truly understands me and is working for my betterment. I hope you enjoyed this particular content. This is not any sort of financial or credit advice. This is just something that I personally do in my everyday life that really helps me save myself time and effort, because I can tell whether or not I'm dealing with a great rep or I'm going to need to speak to a supervisor. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing day. Stay safe and have a good one. Goodbye.